What if I told you the future of flying cars isn't coming from Silicon Valley, but from a small startup in China? In a stunning leap forward, engineers have just unveiled the world's first Tonne-Class eVTOL aircraft, a machine so powerful it can carry more weight than most helicopters, fly silently over cities, and do it all without burning a single drop of fuel. This isn't just another prototype. It's a revolution in air mobility, and it might completely change how we think about transportation forever. But how did a little-known Chinese company beat aviation giants like Boeing and Airbus to this milestone? And what does this mean for the future of electric aviation and even military applications? Buckle up, because what you're about to see is unlike anything in the skies today. Meet startup name, the Chinese aerospace startup rewriting the rulebook for vertical takeoff and landing. This isn't a sleek passenger drone or a hobbyist experiment. This is a Tonne-Class eVTOL, capable of lifting over 1,000 kilograms. That's enough to carry passengers, cargo, or even entire emergency response units into places helicopters can't reach. Unlike traditional rotorcraft, this machine uses multiple electric rotors, advanced battery technology, and AI-driven flight control systems, making it quieter, safer, and cheaper to operate than any helicopter in its class. Its vertical takeoff means it doesn't need a runway, and its electric propulsion cuts emissions to nearly zero. For urban air mobility, that's a game changer. Most eVTOLs we've seen so far are designed for small payloads, usually 1 or 2 passengers, maybe 200 to 300 kilograms max. But this Chinese design shatters that limit. With a payload exceeding 1 metric ton, it's not just about air taxis anymore. It's about logistics, emergency relief, and even military operations. Imagine a single vehicle that can airlift medical supplies into disaster zones, transport construction materials to remote sites, or deliver troops and equipment without needing airstrips. The applications are almost limitless. At the heart of this breakthrough is its next-generation battery system, built to handle massive loads without sacrificing range. Pair that with modular rotors for redundancy and AI-assisted flight controls that stabilize the craft in extreme conditions, and you've got a vehicle that's both powerful and incredibly safe. And here's the kicker. It's designed to be autonomous ready, meaning future versions could fly without a pilot. This launch puts China firmly at the forefront of the electric aviation race. While companies in the US and Europe are still refining prototypes, this startup has leapfrogged straight into heavy lift territory. It's a move that could redefine not just urban mobility, but global logistics and defense strategies. And it raises a crucial question. Can the rest of the world catch up? Flying cars were once science fiction, but with this Tonne-Class eVTOL, the future just took off, and it's flying straight out of China. But here's where things get even more interesting. As news of this Tonne-Class eVTOL spread, whispers began emerging from aviation circles worldwide, and they weren't just about transportation. Military strategists are quietly calling a potential game changer for rapid deployment missions, while logistics giants are exploring how fleets of these aircraft could replace traditional cargo helicopters entirely. And the shockwaves? They're already being felt. Competing startups in the US, Japan, and even Europe are reportedly fast-tracking their own heavy-lift eVTOL programs that were once years away from public reveal. This Chinese breakthrough didn't just raise the bar. It may have reset the entire timeline for electric aviation development worldwide. In the next 24 months, experts predict we'll see an unprecedented surge in investment. Billions are already pouring into advanced battery systems, hybrid hydrogen electric propulsion, and vertical airports, or vertiports, being planned across major cities. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about moving people. It's about reshaping supply chains, bypassing roads and ports entirely. Imagine food, medicine, or construction materials delivered anywhere within hours, no matter the terrain, weather, or conflict zones. The future isn't coming, it's accelerating. But there's one part of this story no one's talking about, at least not publicly. Sources close to the project hint at a classified military variant already in testing, rumored to have stealth coatings, longer range, and modular payload bays capable of carrying drones or surveillance equipment. If true, this wouldn't just disrupt civilian air mobility. It could redraw global defense strategies overnight. Within weeks of the announcement, global intelligence agencies began tracking unusual activity. Sudden test flights in remote provinces, increased satellite surveillance, and even quiet policy shifts in international aviation treaties. The world's major powers knew whoever controls heavy-lift eVTOL technology first could dominate both the skies and the global economy. In Washington, congressional hearings are reportedly fast-tracking funding for competing American prototypes. In Europe, Airbus and several startups are forming alliances to counter the Chinese lead. And in the Middle East, rumors of partnerships for large-scale cargo transport using this tech are already surfacing. The ripple effect has been immediate. Helicopter manufacturers are facing unprecedented pressure, with analysts warning of a potential collapse in traditional rotorcraft markets within the next decade. Meanwhile, battery suppliers and AI navigation firms are seeing explosive growth, some even predicting that urban air logistics will be a trillion-dollar industry by 2035. Cities are already responding. Vertical airports, or vertiports, are being planned in Shanghai, Dubai, and Singapore, with the first scheduled to open within 2 years. These aren't just landing pads. They're entire hubs designed for fleets of autonomous cargo flyers. Behind the scenes, a silent tug-of-war is unfolding. China's move into Tonne-Class eVTOLs isn't just about mobility. It's about setting the global standard for electric aviation. If they control the tech, they control the supply chains, the patents, and potentially the airspace of tomorrow's cities. The United States, once confident in its aerospace dominance, now finds itself racing to catch up. Japan and South Korea are aligning with Western efforts, while Africa and Southeast Asia, regions hungry for leapfrog infrastructure, are already signing deals with Chinese startups to deploy fleets for cargo and passenger services. But beyond the politics and economics, this technology raises profound questions for ordinary people. Will it make daily life easier, deliveries faster, emergencies safer, travel more accessible? Or will it deepen divides, concentrating control in the hands of a few powerful nations and corporations? But progress rarely comes without controversy. As these massive eVTOLs prepare to enter service, critics warn of a looming crisis: airspace congestion, safety risks, and even privacy fears. What happens when thousands of flying vehicles crisscross the skies over major cities? Who controls the invisible highways in the air? And how much surveillance will governments need or demand to keep the skies safe? But in this race, there are no guarantees, only questions. Who will lead? Who will follow? And who might fall behind, disappearing into irrelevance as the world takes to the air? Across Asia and the Middle East, the first outlines of what some call sky cities are already taking shape. Towering structures built not for cars, but for electric vertical aircraft. These hubs promise instant travel between rooftops, bypassing the gridlock streets below. For the wealthy, it's a vision of convenience. For governments, it's a test bed for control. But whispers suggest something more ambitious. Entire vertical metropolises designed from the ground up for aerial living, with sky bridges, hovering cargo platforms, and even floating energy stations to power the fleets above. Behind the curtain, corporations and governments are forging secret alliances. Chinese startups partnering with African mining firms to secure rare earth minerals. American aerospace giants quietly funding battery research in Europe. Even unexpected players, energy companies, data firms, defense contractors, are buying stakes in eVTOL developers, ensuring no single country holds a key to the skies. But some alliances aren't meant for public eyes. Intelligence leaks hint at covert agreements, exclusive air corridors, hidden military bases, even clandestine tech exchanges disguised as commercial trade. And then, just weeks after the Tonne-Class eVTOL's debut, the world faced an unexpected trial. A massive earthquake struck a remote region, cutting off millions from aid. Traditional helicopters were too few, and the terrain too dangerous. That's when, for the first time in history, a fleet of prototype Tonne-Class eVTOLs was deployed in a real-world crisis. Silently, they lifted entire shelters, food supplies, even medical teams into zones no aircraft had reached in decades. For those on the ground, it felt like salvation descending from the clouds. But in the chaos of that mission, something else happened. Something no one expected. A single aircraft disappeared from radar. No crash site, no signal, gone. And within hours, an unmarked aircraft, eerily similar, appeared over an entirely different continent. No one has claimed responsibility. No one will explain. But insiders say this changes everything. Within hours of the missing eVTOL's last transmission, intelligence agencies worldwide went on high alert. Satellite images revealed an unidentified craft, strikingly similar in design, appearing thousands of kilometers away, over international waters. But here's the mystery. The stolen aircraft wasn't just identical. It was faster. Its flight path suggested modifications beyond what the original engineers ever built, which begs the question, who took it, and how did they improve it so quickly? The world thinks this is a race for cleaner transportation. But beneath the headlines, an unseen war is unfolding. Not fought with missiles or tanks, but with silent, electric giants in the sky. Every test flight is tracked by rival satellites. Every breakthrough is mirrored or stolen within weeks. And with Tonne-Class eVTOLs capable of carrying weapons, cargo, or even microdrones, the line between civilian and military technology is blurring faster than ever. And then another leak. Blueprints, not for a Tonne-Class eVTOL, but for something far larger. A design so ambitious, it makes even this breakthrough look primitive. Whistleblowers claim it's already under construction, in a facility hidden deep in the mountains, far from prying eyes. No government will confirm it. No company will admit it. But fragments of data suggest one terrifying detail. This next aircraft isn't designed to carry tons. It's designed to carry entire buildings. The leaked schematics ignited a firestorm among intelligence circles. Analysts confirmed what many feared. This wasn't just an upgrade. It was a paradigm shift, a craft capable of transporting entire modular habitats, factories, even weapons platforms. Publicly, officials dismissed the leak as fabricated. Privately, emergency meetings were called in Washington, Beijing, Moscow. A single question hung in the air. Who is building this, and why? This anonymous engineer claims to have worked inside the Mount facility, and warns of something far beyond civilian use. According to them, the new craft isn't designed to the skies alone, but for low-orbit deployment. The revelations trigger chaos. Nations scramble to accelerate their own programs. Financial markets swing wildly as aerospace stocks skyrocket, and traditional airlines collapse under the weight of obsolescence. Citizens demand answers, while conspiracy forums explode with speculation. Is this about space colonization, a new arms race, or something even darker, a plan to escape Earth itself? Then, an incident no one can explain. Radar picks up two unknown eVTOL giants, converging over Pacific at night. No flight plans, no transponders. Military jets scramble to intercept, but by the time they arrive, both crafts have vanished. Hours later, fishermen hundreds of miles away report something falling from the sky, a piece of composite alloy unknown to any manufacturer. Scientists analyzing it find traces of energy signatures not seen in any public technology today. The alloy fragment, barely the size of a hand, holds more energy than an entire jet turbine, and emits frequencies that don't match any known element on Earth. When the data leaks online, speculation turns wild. Is this breakthrough purely human, or is someone reverse engineering something else? The Consortium, a coalition of corporations and governments pushing for global dominance through rapid deployment. The Silent Order, rogue operatives seeking to keep the technology hidden, fearing humanity isn't ready. And an unknown third faction, communicating only through encrypted signals, operating from locations no satellite can track. Their agendas collide in secret. Espionage, sabotage, even mid-air confrontations never reported to the public. Deep beneath a mountain range, far from any map, lies what may be the origin of it all. A facility so secret it doesn't appear on satellite scans, shielded by electromagnetic dampening fields. Rumors say this is where the first prototype left Earth's atmosphere and returned with something it didn't have when it launched. We stand on the edge of a new frontier, one built not on roads or runways, but on invisible highways through the sky. The question is no longer can we fly? It's where will we go next, and who decides who gets to follow?